I'm Sandy. Welcome to my channel. I'm brand new to YouTube, and one of the first videos that I wanted to share with you guys was my experience as a first-time parent, as a first-time mom. And what I wanted to go ahead is give you guys tips on how to survive your first year, your very first year as a first-time parent, first-time mom. You hear a lot of stories, you ask your mommy friends, hey, what can I expect? You read all these books, you look up online. However, you can ask, read everything, but nobody really tells you the nitty-gritty of it. Nobody really tells you what you're really going to be confronted with. Everybody just talks about what's on the surface. Yeah, sleepless nights, they get up every 2 to 3 hours, the basics. But the ugly part about it, the joyful part about it and everything, they don't really talk about it. So I'm here to be completely 100% honest with my own experience of what I did to be able to survive the first year. And I'm going to include, my husband's somewhat part of it because I did not do it alone. So this is not about being a single mom because I am not a single mom. So I just wanted to go ahead and put that out there right now so there's no confusion as to what type of video this is. So I am 33. I got pregnant with my first son, with my first child, which, I have a boy. His name is Enzo, and I got pregnant with him at the age of 30. I had him at 31. Just to give you a little recap very quickly of what my pregnancy was, which that's going to be a completely different video, the pregnancy of your first child, what to expect. Well, I ended up being diagnosed with preeclampsia with him, so I had him early. I was in the hospital a whole entire week. We had to go through all of that, and then I had an emergency C-section due to the severe preeclampsia, and I had him at 36 weeks. So from the minute he was born, I didn't get to hold him. How they tell you, oh yeah, you get to have that mommy moment of putting him on your chest. I didn't get to have that due to the circumstances, so I wouldn't be able to tell you what it felt like. I do know that the minute I heard his cry, I started bawling, crying, even though I was high on meds, high on drugs per se. But it was a feeling that I have never felt before, and I was crying of pure joy, And at the same time, immediately I felt a relief of like, oh my God, they just took this human out of me. So just to make it clear also, we didn't have supportive family. My husband's family lives, out of the state, and then mine didn't live so close. So it was just him and I. So my son had to stay at a NICU for 1 whole week, actually a little bit longer than a week, because he was premature, so they had to keep him there. And then the Danja, the color, and going home without him was one of the worst feelings ever. That you go through all this process of going into labor and having this procedure done to save your life and your child's life, and then when it comes down to it, you can't go home with him. It was very devastating. I cried a lot. I cried every day, even though my husband and I would go see my son during visiting hours twice a day. It was religious. I could not go to sleep without seeing my son, the very last visitation hours, which was around 11 o'clock at night. And I know he was tired. I was tired, exhausted, dealing with the whole C-section. And to be honest with you, I couldn't have done it without him. And just thinking about it, it was very emotional. And sometimes I'm getting a knot in my throat right now, just thinking about it, because it's a very hard time for any mother to have to leave your child in the NICU, even though he's being well taken care of. You still don't have, your baby with you. So every day we would call the doctor, and they would tell us, yeah, he's gonna go home, on this day. That day came around, and we got an excuse as to why he couldn't go home that day. Then, maybe tomorrow. They kept us like that for about 3 to 4 days until finally, we were able to bring Enzo home. It was with a heart monitor because he was suffering from his heart drop. His heart rate would drop, and it had to do with reflux. He was suffering from reflux, so we had to take him home with a heart monitor, and also we had to take a CPR class. Let me tell you, I was so excited, got his little outfit, took pictures, everything was so awesome, getting wheeled out of the hospital with your baby in hand. And when we finally get home, I'm like, WTF, now what? There are no nurses, nobody to tell you what to do, it's just you and your baby. And there's no manual. Yeah, you can Google things, but you're like stuck for a split second, and dealing with, with taking painkillers because of the pain from this C-section. My husband was there, to support and tell me, hey, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry, we got this. Baby cries, feed him, change him. I was breastfeeding at the time. It was very painful, so I got one of those round pillows, ringy pillows, I forgot what they're called, to help me support him while I breastfed him. And it was an amazing feeling, very rewarding, and the sleepless nights began. My son was attached to this heart monitor, so it's not like I could just get up and walk with him anywhere, or my husband can just grab him and just keep going. No, we had to grab the machine, make sure it wasn't tangled, and make sure it was on him properly. Every time we changed him, bathed him, whatever, you put it on like a little book bag, like a little purse, and walk around everywhere with him. And the heart monitor, a lot of the times, it would go off, especially in the middle of the night, and you just like jump and you feel like your heart is gonna drop, and it's the most horrible feeling, and it sounds like one of those fire alarms. It's a very annoying sound. And in the middle of the night it goes off, and we're like, what the heck? My husband wakes up, I wake up, and the baby's fine. Sometimes the cords would be loose, or sometimes his heart would just drop. Also, after feedings, I would have to keep him elevated, sitting up for 30 minutes after feeding. I could not lay him down immediately because of the reflux. So that was a process for various months. And his formula was Enfamil AR. And it was one of those things where you're like, this is real. This is your child that's depending on you. Whether you're feeling sick, or whether you're feeling depressed, whether you're feeling like you can't do it, you can do it. You will do it, because the love that you have for your child will allow you to pull through. One of the biggest tips that I can give you new parents is, if you can, and I know every situation is different, but at least at the beginning, I know that every mom gets about 2 months of maternity leave. When your baby sleeps, you sleep. You need those hours of rest. I did that. Forget the house, forget the laundry, forget that you have to pick up or you have to cook or anything. Forget all of that. You need your sleep, you need your rest. I learned the hard way that even with the C-section, I wanted to get up and do laundry. I wanted to get up and cook something. I wanted to do things. I didn't want to just stay on the bed. But I learned the hard way that if you do not get the rest that you need, you do not sleep when your baby sleeps, you will have a meltdown, you will break down, you will cry, and you will feel like the worst person ever because you feel like you can't do this. I felt that way. I went through it. I broke down. I remember sitting on the edge of the bed and I just completely bawled. And I told my husband, take the baby. And he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. So he takes the baby and he knows that I need a moment. And then I explained to him, I don't think I could do this. I don't think that I am good for this. And he looked at me and he's like, you can't do it. You're wonderful. You're a wonderful mom. You can do this. You will do this. We will do this. We are doing this together. And he let me sleep. He's like, go ahead, take a nap, go lay down. I got this. I got the baby. And, he's a first-time dad also, so we're going through this journey together. It was very emotional, but I took a nap. And I promise you that when I woke up from that nap, I felt like a brand new person. Still in pain from my C-section, but those 2 hours that I did get to sleep, it's like recharging your battery. It's like hitting the reset button. And I felt so much better. And I actually smiled because I was like, wow, I didn't understand how important sleep is. And it's very important. You need it. Your significant other needs it. And even if you're a single mom, you need to find that support system to help you. My mom was a single mom. She had me to kind of help her because my little brother were 14 years apart, so I was 14. So I was able at least to do a little bit to help her. You need to find that support system. You need it. We just had each other, but at least we had each other. We're blessed enough that we had each other. So when it comes to that, you need rest. You need a lot of rest. Okay. Baby sleeps, you sleep. Okay. Feedings. The whole waking up 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning. We took an approach that a lot of people were like, wow, that's expensive. However, we're blessed enough that, we were able to buy ready formula. We did not do the powder. With both of our children, we have not done the powder. We have strictly done the ready formula, the little readies. They come in little bottles and big bottles, but given that my son can only drink AR, they came in little bottles, 8-ounce bottles. So what I started doing is to make things easier for my husband in the middle of the night, because we would both wake up every 2 to 3 hours, because my son ate every 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. What we went ahead and did is that I prepared the bottles ahead of time. So all he had to do was go to the fridge, get it, and put it in the bottle warmer, warm it up, and it's ready. So I would leave the fridge with the formula stocked up, or my breast milk if I had pumped it, so I can go ahead and sleep and he can sleep, and we took simultaneously turns, because my baby, sometimes he wanted my breast, sometimes he didn't, and at the same time I was not producing enough milk for his hunger. So I would start him up on my left breast, then my right one, and then when I had no more and he's still hungry crying, I would finish him up with formula. I did that for about 4 months. After 4 months, he didn't want my boob anymore. He just drank straight formula. And I did it for 4 months. I've seen a lot of, moms criticizing other moms because they didn't do 100%, breastfeeding. You know what? Don't allow anybody to get to you. I didn't care. It's about me and my child, me and my family. And I tried. I gave it all I could. I wasn't going to let that bring me down. And my son started drinking formula only. And there were times where I would try to sneak in the boob, but he wasn't having it. He's like, Mom, what are you doing? No. So prep the formula for the whole entire time throughout the day. The bottles, I used to wash them in the dishwasher. I'm telling you everything to make lives easier. Who cares what people might say? Oh my God, you put the bottles in the dishwasher. why would you do that? Or just the bottles, and the bottles alone, not with any other food or anything, because the bottles can't get ruined off of greasy food. Um, so the bottles alone, wash them. My husband would even do that himself. He's like, here, I got you, don't worry. So this is about how to make your life easier in the sense of surviving the first year, because it's a lot. I have been blessed that I've been able to be a stay-at-home mom, but not all moms are able to do this. So prepping everything ahead of time would save me so much. When it came to my son, because the care of my son, my husband and I at the time, both business owners, worked from home. I was very, very busy with my business, fixing curves, and trying to manage everything, and it was a lot. I didn't take maternity leave. However, I was still with my child at home with my baby, but I was still working. I was still on my laptop. So you see where the stress factor can come with. It's not like when you take maternity leave that you're not at work. You don't go to work. No. I was still working. I was still, running my business, and dealing with everything that comes with it. So my husband and I decided to hire someone to help us around in the house while we were there to care for our son. And we found his nanny. Her name is Isabella. She's Brazilian, and she was completely awesome. If you can afford it, I highly recommend it. If you work at home and you can afford to have somebody help you while you are able to concentrate on your job, on anything that you're doing, if you do nails, if you do hair, if you do makeup, you can still have your clients come to your house as long as it's safety first. But you're able to have that social connection still and have your clients and make money, and at the same time have somebody care for your child, and you're there. So the whole feeling of, oh my golly, my child is somebody, you don't have to go through that because your child is there. Isabella was great. She was a great nanny. She was so good to her, and so his milestones, he was with it, and I'm very grateful that I was able to find her. I found her on care.com. That's where we went. We paid like $40 subscription, and it was amazing. She helped me to teach him to crawl, and we were very active with him, taking him, learning how to pick up things, the little different milestones and everything. When it came time for Enzo to roll over, she would help him with all these exercises, and it was awesome. It was great. She used to come to my house from 10 to 6. She would help me with his laundry. She would help me with everything that has to do with Enzo. She would help me. And sometimes things around the house, little things here and there, she would help me. So we didn't have our family, because typically your family comes over and your family will help you do laundry, will help you, grab the baby, will help you with anything that you need. But we didn't have that. So yes, we had to hire help, and it was worth every penny. My husband was able to work. I was able to work to continue, putting a roof over our head. So if you can hire the help, hire it. Disregard anybody's criticism. Disregard anybody's like, oh my God, why would you do that? Because you know what? Nobody is living your life. Nobody is dealing with what you're dealing with. And every mother deals with postpartum differently. Some moms go into heavy postpartum depression. Some moms don't. Some moms deal with it mildly. I used to cry a lot because I thought I couldn't do it. I was scared. I'm scared that this one little baby is depending on my care. I'm the mom. I did have my husband's support, but still, you can't help but think, can I do this? And it's natural, it's normal. A lot of women don't talk about it, but it's real. And it's okay if you need to cry. If you need to cry, cry. That after you cry, you'll feel better. After you cry, you'll feel so much better. And once you get released and you have the go to go work out or go do some physical activity, I highly recommend it. That's a whole nother topic, that another video that I will make about weight gain when it comes to, you know, after having a baby. I have gained, as you can see, my face is very swollen. I have like this, I have a natural round face, but just when I gain weight, it looks even more round. And that's something that's in a different video, a different struggle that has nothing to do with the first. But what I can tell you is that if you can't go out and exercise, if you can go out for a walk, you know, get out there, do some yoga. I'm big on yoga. I used to do hot yoga even before having the baby. I used to do hot yoga 3 to 4 times a week, 90-minute classes. Oh my God, can I tell you? I used to come out of that class rejuvenated, feeling like I had birds singing around my head. I was in heaven, peaceful. I used to think that meditation and all that was like BS, but no, it's good for the soul. It's good for the body. It's good, you know, you get rid of all that water. Absolutely recommend it. You'll feel better. You know, one of the biggest things with mommies, you know, the first year is after you have the baby is, wow, you know, my body feels different. So, you know, eating healthy also because of breastfeeding and getting back into that routine of taking care of yourself. Do your makeup, do your hair. Even if you don't want to, you don't have to do full-blown makeup. You see my makeup that I have right now is really quickly. I'm like backed up 2 years through all the trends in makeup that they have right now, like the contouring, highlighting. I don't know how to do any of that, which I'm going to be so excited to go through that journey on video with you guys on my first time that I'm going to contour, the first time that I'm going to do highlighting and everything. My makeup that I have on is the basic makeup that I have always done before being pregnant, which is, I don't even have foundation on, which is just powder, eyeliner, mascara, lipstick, and I do my eyebrows. That's it. I don't even do the whole concealer thing for the eyebrows to give it a shape. Like, no. The mommy time does not allow it for that. Another thing that I'm going to tell you is go out, have date night. Let me tell you something. It's very hard to trust somebody with your baby, especially when they're small. The first date night that we had after the baby, my mother-in-law came to visit, and you know, we went to the movies. That's a date night. Doesn't have to be a full-blown 7 o'clock at night till 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, you're not single anymore. You know, now you're a parent and you want to have fun. We went out for a movie, dinner and a movie. That's what we did. And that was sufficient. That was good. We got out. We took a break. We got to enjoy each other. We had fun. And it was kind of weird at the same time because we're both in the car. We're like, there's no baby. Like, it feels weird. But date night is so important. Go out, and if it's not date night and you're a single mom, go out with your girlfriends. Go out to the movies. Go out to the mall. Have you time. Go out to a lounge, chit chat, have girl talk, vent. Venting is so important. You need to get out there and detach yourself slightly from the responsibility of, you know, your child. For a couple hours, hit that reset button. So when you come back, you know, you can fill your baby with hugs, kisses, and you can go ahead and do what you do best, is be a mom, being mommy. And you have to remember that you have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of another person. Take care of yourself with rest, you know, do your hair. And I'm first one to say, I would not do my hair. My hair would be in a bun. My husband would look at me like, are you there? Like, where's the Sandy I used to know? And in a way, I was like, you don't understand, I'm tired. But he's telling me, you can't let yourself go. You have to continue, do what you were doing before. Obviously not in the same way, but don't let yourself go. You will feel better. And as women, we have vanity. We want to look good because looking good makes us feel good. So do your makeup, do your hair, go out, for a walk, go to the gym, do some yoga, go on date night, get rest, get a lot of rest, and you will be able to survive the first year. In regards to one last thing before I end the video, when it came to my second pregnancy, and that's going to be a whole different video, which I'm excited to do, is when my son was 9 months old, we found out that I was pregnant. It wasn't planned. We weren't planning on having another baby before our son was even a year old. So soon. I did do the depo. I was on birth control, but God had other plans for us. And he said, I guess he gave us that much credit that we can handle 2 babies back to back like that. And boom, we find out. And at first, I cried because I couldn't believe it that, my God, I'm not even done here. My son is not even a year old, and here we go, round 2. Like I said, that's going to be a separate video, but on how to survive that. But again, don't allow something that may happen in the transition of you parenting, like cloud you from what your purpose is to your child. Once you go back to work, if you do have to go back to work, find someone that can take care of your baby. I know it's hard if it's a family member, whoever, if you have to take them to a daycare, do your research. I've done my research, and there's a lot of crazy things happening out there. But once you're able to complete everything, things will get much easier. Once you start seeing all the milestones, once your baby starts walking, it just becomes like this amazing, amazing feeling that you're like, wow, I did it. Oh, solids. I did everything at home. I didn't really feed him, those Gerbers and all of that. I did most of that, the organic ones, the little pouches for the fruits. But I used to cook everything, boil it, steam it, peel it, liquefy it, freeze it. That was my routine. As the milestones came, his food intake came with it. I used to shred the chicken, boil it, shred it, no seasoning, nothing, then blend it, and then feed him that. Another video that I'll make separate is what you really need and what you really don't need when it comes to baby furniture, baby materials, baby supplies, the things that you will need and the things that you won't need. As first-time parents, one of the things that you do make a mistake is that you start buying everything thinking that you're going to need it, when some things you're really not, because your baby will determine what you need and what you don't. So that's going to be a separate video on my motherhood section in the playlist of what supplies you need, what don't you need, and what you may get away with not having. So I hope I was of help. If you guys have any questions for me, go ahead and leave comments. I'll go ahead and answer. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This is my first video, so cut me some slack if there's some things here and there that were a little bit off, but it's my first time. I'm looking forward to doing many more. My channel is going to consist of motherhood, fitness, and beauty. So all those 3 areas, I'll have different playlists where you'll get to see exactly what is it that are my thoughts on different things. I'm very open. Also, if you have any advice or any other topics you would like me to speak about, go ahead and leave it in the comments. I'll go ahead and respond. And thank you for allowing me to come into your home to talk to you and tell you my insight. And I look forward to doing more videos. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the button.